AP Environmental Science Video. AP Environmental Science Video.
Hello, AP Environmental Science students. I wanted to review with you the free response question from Unit 2's exam, the portion for A, which was use the following equalities to convert square miles given in the opening paragraph of the Florida purchase of land into hectares. Show your work for 2 points. So the way that I scored this was to give you 2 points. 1 point was for correctly setting up the factor labeling, and then the second point was for getting the correct answer. So let's walk through this. First of all, in the opening paragraph, it says that Florida was going to purchase almost 300 square miles of sugarcane plantations. So that is our convert the square miles given in the opening paragraph. We're starting with 300 square miles. And so if I put that over 1 just kind of as a placeholder to help me think about the factor labeling. Next, I know that miles has to go in the bottom, and in 1 mile there's 640 acres. So I'll go 1 mile. 1 square mile is the equivalent of 640 acres. I can cross out the square miles, and then I need to go one more step to get it into hectares. There's 2.5 acres. 2.5 acres. I think it's closer to 2.47, but that's close enough for our work. To 1 hectare. So that would cancel out the acres and we'd be left with hectares. So that would give us how many hectares of land. So let's figure this out. First, I'll consider the top area, which I need to multiply together. So I'm going to take 300 and multiply it by 640. So following all these zeros is really complex for me. So I'm actually going to put it into scientific notation. You don't have to do this, but I like to do it this way. And I'm actually going to put the 6.4 on top. That's for some reason easier for me, and they're interchangeable. So I'm going to say the 640, you have to move the decimal over 2 times. So I'm going to say 6.4 times 10 to the 2 multiplied by 3 times 10 to the 2. I'm going to multiply those together. When we're multiplying the scientific notation, we can add these exponents together. So we know our answer is going to be something times 10 to the 4. So let's figure out what it is. So I'm going to go 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. And I'm going to say 3 times 6 is 18, plus the 1 is 19. And so it's and then there's one decimal in the calculation, so I'm going to put my decimal there, and this is our answer, 19.2 times 10 to the 4. Or I can take the decimal spot, hop it over 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, put the decimal there, and we'll end up with those zeros. So this would equal 192,000. And right now we've only completed this first step, 192,000 acres of land so far. Now the next step is to convert it into hectares, and so to do that you can see that we have to divide by 2.5 as our next operation, and then we can convert it to hectares. So this is probably the most difficult spot. If you wanted to do some math tricks, you can multiply by a whole number, 5, which is a pretty easy number to divide by. You could divide by 5 and recognize that your answer would be half as big as it should be. But I'm going to go through the long process of dividing here, and just like I did with the other number, to try to keep it simpler, I'm going to put it in scientific notation. So I'm going to put it I'm going to put 2.5 going into 192. I think that's going to be my easiest setup here as far as tracking things. But it's 192 times 10 to the 3 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the 0. When you're dividing, you can subtract exponents, and so 3 minus 0 is, we know that the answer is going to be something times 10 to the 3, and so let's try to figure it out. First of all, I'm just going to start 2.5. We'll have to go, I'm going to start with the 19s here, and I'm going to guess 7. And I'm going to see if that fits in. So 7 times 5 is 35, carry the 3. 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 3 is 17. Had a little bit of a, let me try that again. 7 times 5 is 35, carry the 3 over here. 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 7 is 17. And so this gets me my first operation here. So I'm going to carry the 1 over here to make that a 12. That becomes an 8. 12 minus 5 is a 7. 8 minus 7 is a 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So we're left with 17. We just found out that 7 times 2.5 is 17.5, so we know that's too big. So I'm going to put in a 6 here, and a 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 3 is 15. I'm going to end up with 20. And let's see, so now I am at the decimal spot here, and so I'm going to say, all right, how many times is 2.5 going to 20? I think it's an even number. I think it's 8. Let's check that. So I'm going to go 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 4. 8 times 2 is 16, plus the 4 is 20, and so I end up with 0, so it's 76.8. That's almost our answer. If you remember, we have the 10 to the third. 76.8 times 10 to the third hectares is 76,800 hectares would be a good answer to this question. Thanks for tuning in.